4 nurses have been fired from an Atlanta hospital for posting a TikTok video talking about patients. The video was filmed as part of a challenge on TikTok about icks, or dislikes of their job. Let's take a look at a short clip.
My ick is when you come in for your induction talking about, can I take a shower and eat?
What? My ick is when you ask me how much the baby weighs and it's still in your hands.
Dad comes outside and asks for a paternity test right outside the room door.
The original video, now deleted from the app, has been viewed millions of times and prompted thousands of angry comments. The nurses worked at Emory University Hospital, Midtown. Emory Healthcare issued a statement on the incident saying, in part, "We are aware of the TikTok video that included disrespectful and unprofessional comments about maternity patients and have taken appropriate actions with the former employees responsible for the video." Here to unpack all of this is Democratic strategist and political commentator Ameshia Cross. Welcome. So great to have you. All right, here's my question. When I first saw this story and I saw the title, which was, nurses talking about their icks, I thought they were going to be talking about like something like bodily related to maternity. And I thought, oh, that's horrible. But when I actually watched it, what they were essentially doing was letting off steam about the behavior of patients and their families. Like one of the examples we didn't see was a man who he has one baby daddy in one room. He's the baby daddy of one baby mama in one room, one baby mama in the other room, and he's going back and forth, stuff like that. Like or patients being extremely demanding in a way that's annoying, right? Like instead of ringing the buzzer, having somebody go to their desk over and over and over again. And then I thought, they were letting off steam. Is this really so bad? What do you think, Ameshia?
Absolutely thought that it was horrendous. I saw it while it was trending over the weekend as well. Full disclosure, my sister is a neonatal nurse in Atlanta, not at this hospital. It was very frustrating as a Black woman knowing that 3.5 times we are more likely to die in postpartum childbirth than any other demographic of people. These are individuals who have taken it upon themselves to enter a career field where especially in the city of Atlanta, at one of the largest hospitals, what your demographic base that visit this hospital actually looks like. It is frustrating to me that these are the types of sentiments that were held by these individuals, because it's hard to believe that those won't also be taken into how you treat your patients. Be mindful. A lot of these are first-time moms who quite frankly don't understand. And sometimes they may ring the call button a little too much. But guess what? That's the job you signed up for. It's extremely disrespectful. You utilize this for kicks, for giggles, for whatever on China's TikTok. But it's also very depressing noting that there are women who literally are dying and have died at that very hospital and can call out some of those nurses. Another part of the TikTok that was brought out, and one of the reasons why these people got fired, was because you actually had new moms who talked about specific nurses in that video and how they treated them and how they almost died on the table or bled out because certain things weren't being flagged. So the greater issue here is that these are individuals who, for laughs and giggles, thought this was extremely funny to disparage patients. Meanwhile, they're ignoring their calls for help. Meanwhile, they're ignoring the statistics around maternal mortality for Black women specifically. Meanwhile, they are making a TikTok literally while they probably should be checking on said patients, and they're doing it at their place of employment. All of them deserve to be fired.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they deserve to be fired. I take your points. This does fall under the category of just because social media exists and it's now very easy to share your every waking thought with the rest of the world does not mean that it's a good idea. This is probably the kind of banter that should be reserved for after work drinks or something where, you and your colleagues get together and complain about something. That's something everybody does. That is not illegal, should not be illegal. Shouldn't you lose your job for that. But you don't know what's going to go viral on social media. You don't know if you put something out there, if no one's going to see it, or 10 people are going to see it, or if millions of people are going to see it. And they're on the clock there. They're in their place of work. Now, all that said, I didn't find it particularly over any line. If it was me, I don't think I would have been that upset with it. I might have just said, hey, or I would look at what the hospital's social media policy is for employees. I'd say, hey, here's what our policy is. Maybe keep in mind that you shouldn't be talking this way. I did find of course, maybe a mother wants to know how much her new baby weighs. Well, what do you mean? You can't tell when you're holding something how much it weighs necessarily. That was kind of odd. Not that I would not have necessarily had them fired.
No, but I think her problem. Okay, I'm sorry. I am going to take their side just because it's like, okay, but like I think her problem is like asking her to do something while you're making it impossible because she's still holding it, right? Like asking her a question that she has no way of answering because the baby's in your arms, so she can't weigh it.
I see.
I don't think her process was lost on me. I think that it should have been kept in her head and not put on social media. There are a lot of things that we think at work and outside of work that we should not publicly display. But when you have patients that are in their most vulnerable position, and I don't think there's a more vulnerable position for any childbearing individual than actually being in the hospital and being subject, especially when you know the outcomes for people who look like me, and being subject to people who are laughing, jeering, and making fun of your circumstance or making fun of the demands or the things that you're asking for during that time. That's why this is so sensitive. They are trained to not do specifically around how you treat these patients. And they went against all of that for a segment of likes and reshares on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but I think it's okay for us to be offended by something and still not call for someone to get fired. No,
I wouldn't want to go to Emory Hospital. I wouldn't want to deliver a baby in Emory Hospital after seeing something like that. That's the issue. You have people who see this who will choose other hospitals in Atlanta because they fully recognize. And again, people retweeted this who have actually been served at Emory by some of the people in this video. Meanwhile, these are people who had blood pressure issues, who had blood clotting issues, who literally almost died on the table. So while they're over here laughing, jeering, and living their best lives and acting tomfoolery on TikTok for likes, you're talking about women who barely survived giving birth. Yeah. It's not funny. It's not cool. And all of them deserved beyond the reprimand they got. I'm sorry. And I hope they don't get hired at any other hospital because that's beyond disrespectful and unprofessional.
Yeah. Strong views, strong views. I see where you're coming from, obviously. And if people had issues with those specific nurses and people don't want to select that hospital because they saw that video, then obviously the hospital is going to need to do something about it. So very interesting. Well, tomorrow on Rising, political analyst Jason Nichols and co-founder of Base Politics Brad Palumbo will weigh in on Senator Kyrsten Sinema's defection from the Democratic Party. Should be spicy. We'll also continue to follow the latest uproar surrounding the Twitter files. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Great having you here, Batya. You as well, Ameshia. Thank you all so much. And I'll see you back here tomorrow.